Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a special edition of Chess ASMR. In today's video we are watching a chess classic from 1958 played by Bobby Fischer, who was white this game, against Bent Larsen. Truly spectacular performance by Bobby Fischer, and hopefully you will enjoy this game and it will help you fall asleep deeply. So without further ado, we'll go straight into the game. Bobby Fischer opened the game with e4. We have c5 by Bent Larsen, knight f3, and d6 played, and we are in Sicilian defense. After d4, c takes on d4, knight takes on d4, and knight f6 we are in open variation of Sicilian defense. But after knight c3 and g6 we are transposing into dragon variation. Fischer continues his development with bishop e3, bishop g7 by black, and f3 with the idea to defend this pawn. Black now castles, putting his king to safety, and we have queen to d2 by Bobby Fischer, with the main idea to castle on queen side and then launch the attack on the king side. Bent Larsen continues his game with knight to c6, and we have bishop c4 played by Bobby Fischer. We have a trade in the center of the board, and after bishop takes on d4, bishop e6 is played for Bent Larsen, offering the trade of this white squared bishop. For now, Fischer refuses this trade and he plays bishop to b3, and after queen to a5 for black, Fischer castles long. Now black's main idea is to start the attack on the queen side with the help of his rooks, which you will see later in the game, while white's idea is to also start the avalanche against black's king. We have this situation whenever there are opposite castles. So Bent Larsen doesn't wait, he engages with b5. Bobby Fischer for now plays king to b1. Simply you want to avoid any sorts of tricks on this c-file, and also you want to have this pawn on a2 covered as well. Bent Larsen continues with the b4, now attacking this knight, and Bobby Fischer decided that it is time for a trade with knight to d5. We have bishop picking up on d5, bishop takes on d5, and for now Bent Larsen doesn't want to trade and he plays rook a to c8 with the idea to aim at this c2 square. We have bishop to b3 played for Bobby Fischer just to keep this bishop safe here around this c2 square. Rook to c7. Bent Larsen's main idea is to double up his rooks on the c-file and then possibly launch an attack. Fischer doesn't wait and he starts an attack of his own with h4. Now the main idea is to push for h5 and of course g4 as well. Queen to b5 is played for Bent Larsen, and right now h5 is played for Bobby Fischer. In the game, move rook f to c8 was played for black, but after h5 you might be wondering what's gonna happen if black decides to pick up this pawn. Well, in that case, Bobby prepared bishop picking up on g7, and right now, as you can see, this black king is exposed, and right now the best possibility for black here is to pick up with his king here, and then after g4 black has to be careful because this queen is ready to infiltrate with a check and then to give checkmate. The best continuation here for black is to give up your knight. After rook to c5, g takes on h5 and rook picks up on h5. Already white has 2-point advantage in the game because white just grabbed a piece. After bishop to g7, if black decides to pick up this bishop with his knight, then this idea will happen with queen to h6, now threatening checkmate on the h7 square. Knight h5 is the only blockade of this threat, and after g4 here again, queen to e5 is best, g takes on h5 and queen to g7. Again, white is much better in this position. And that is the reason why after h5, rook f to c8 was played. We have a trade here, and after h takes on g6, Fischer continues the attack with g4. We have a5 for Bent Larsen. Bent Larsen also wants to try and engage on the queen side, but again, he's always a bit too slow. g5 for Bobby Fischer, attacking this knight. Knight goes on h5 with the idea to protect this bishop as well. And now we are coming in the critical part of the position, because now Bobby Fischer finds this beautiful rook takes on h5 sacrifice. Black has to accept this sacrifice, and after g6 he decided to play e5. Now after this move g6, you might be wondering what would happen if Black simply picked up this bishop. Then what follows is g takes on f7, and after king goes on f8, white continues with queen picking up on d4, already aiming to keep this check, and it will be a devastation for the black king. That is the reason queen to e5 is the best for black. But of course white doesn't trade, and he plays queen to g1, again threatening this exposed king. Queen to g7 is what follows as the best option here for black, and after queen takes on g7, king takes on g7, rook g1, check. Now the best possibility for black is to play king to h7, but right now after bishop to e6, this rook is under attack. Rook to f8 in the attempt to block this pawn from advancing, but after rook to g8 you have to be patient here as black. Unfortunately this is losing, because now the only defense here is rook c on c8. After that bishop takes on c8, rook takes on f7, and rook to g3. After this white is clearly winning with a piece advantage. So this is not good. After g6, e5 was played for Bent Larsen, at least trying to block this diagonal from this really dangerous bishop. We have g takes on f7, check. King f8 is definitely best. You don't want to expose this king even more, and also you cannot pick up this pawn. That's obvious. It is protected by this white squared bishop. We have bishop to e3 now played for Bobby Fischer, and d5 played for black. Black is desperately trying to create some sort of counterplay, but it's really difficult. We have e takes on d5, and rook picks up on f7. Finally black got rid of this really dangerous pawn. Fischer continues with d6, again trying to create another threat here and to create another passed pawn. Rook to f6 is played for black with the idea to attack this pawn, but right now Bobby Fischer plays bishop to g5, attacking this rook on f6. Now queen b7 was played in game, but after bishop g5, if you're wondering what would happen if black simply protected his rook, then bishop e7 is what follows, and after rook takes on e7, d takes on e7, check. Black king has few options. One of the options is to go on e8, but then queen d8 check, and after rook takes on d8, e takes on d8 with a promotion of a queen is checkmate, because this bishop covers this long diagonal. After d takes on e7, black king had another option here. He could have went simply picking up this pawn, but then what follows is queen to d6 check, and after king e8, queen e6 check, and after king f8, queen f7 is checkmate. So after bishop g5 you cannot move your rook, and black decided to play queen to b7, trying to at least hold this 7th rank. We have bishop picking up on f6, bishop takes on f6, d7 right now, getting ready to promote attacking this rook. Rook to d8 was played, and after queen to d6 check for Bobby Fischer, this is where Bent Larsen resigned the game. And the reason he resigned this game, because he will get checkmated no matter what. And of course I will show you all of the lines. So after queen to d6 check, if you decide to play bishop to e7, then queen h6 is checkmate. Again, this bishop is covering this long diagonal. After queen to d6 check, after king g7, white continues with rook g1 check. After king to h7, white picks up this bishop. There are no checks, but as you can see, there is checkmate threat here on g7, and queen takes on d7 is the only defense for black. Queen g6 is what follows now, and after king goes on h8, queen takes on h5 check. And now it looks like black defends everything with queen to h7, but unfortunately after queen picking up on e5, the only remaining defense is queen to g7, and Bobby Fischer finishes the game with beautiful queen takes on g7 checkmate. And this is how this amazing game ended, and this is all I have prepared for you today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you will have a nice sleep. If you enjoyed this kind of videos, do let me know in the comments below. As you all know, I always enjoy reading your comments. And if you want more videos like this, just let me know, guys. I hope you have a nice rest. Bye bye.